Awesome. Don't worry about that. It's okay. Okay, we're gonna get started, everyone. So, hello, everyone. My name is Lizeth Ortega. I am the Student Association President. And today we are hosting part 2 of Get Involved at Oz, which is a series of webinars to highlight the importance of student involvement on campus. And today we're going to be focusing on highlighting different BIPOC organizations. And for this, we have a group of current student e-board members from different orgs. And we're gonna, have a conversation about their involvement on campus and their leadership and activism as well. So now I'm gonna hand it over to our co-host, Brandon, if you wanna go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Brandon Gonzales. I'm BSU Director of Programming for BSU and the SA Interim Director for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So I'm just happy to be here. Now, I'm going to introduce our panel. So we'll just go down the list. So Amaya.
Hi, my name is Amaya Corporan, and I am the president of Image Step Team.
Okay, thank you. Hi guys, I'm Jayvana. I am the Madam President of the Latino Student Union.
Hi, my name is Kayla Biles. I'm the president of the Black Student Union.
Hi, my name is Michelle Thomas. I'm the president of BIPOC.
Hi, my name is Nsikak Ekong. I'm the vice president of the African Student Organization.
My name is Britania Solomon, and I'm the president of NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants.
Do we have anyone else?
Or Michelle.
I think we all
I think we all went.
Everybody on the list went. That's here.
Okay. So, was that to ask the first question?
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and start with the questions?
Go ahead with the question. So let's start by talking about the importance of BIPOC, which are Black and Indigenous people of color organizations on campus. Specifically, if we go that as a PWI, a predominantly white institution, how has being a club, an Alana org club or a Black Indigenous POC club or org, helped you develop a sense of community with your overall college experience? Do I need to re-say that? I'm sorry if I'm talking low.
I heard. I'll go first. So being an Image, it is really important that every member that knows that Image is like a family together, and it's like a judgment-free zone all the time. And we also have a team consultant, and they are like fundamental into being in charge of the team bonders and keeping the team in unison. So Image also expands like our interaction throughout the campus. And I remember when I was joining as a freshman and just joining Image, like I didn't know any like fraternities or sororities on campus. So Image introduced me to like the different Greek life on campus. And that's how I met some of my friends that I'm still close to today.
Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else would like to answer that question?
You go.
Okay, so with me, it was, so joining BOBAC Booties is founded on sisterhood. So we do a big sister, little sister program. You better chill. We do a big sister, little program at the beginning of every semester so that the incoming freshmen and transfers can get into the community in the college, because there's not a large amount of representation for people of color on campus, especially women. So it has shaped it. It shaped my experience differently. It made me get closer with people that I'm still close with now. It made me get more involved on campus, and it just made me want to stay in Oswego low-key.
Everyone in the panel can answer the question, by the way.
So for me, BSU, okay. So I'm a very shy person, and BSU and along with MX or Eastbourne MX, they were the first organizations that I had interest in when I first got to Oswego. And one of my friends dragged me to the BSU meetings, and I instantly became a committee member, and it was just a sense of community and a sense of family, because I didn't know anybody that was on that e-board. I didn't know anybody that was in the meetings, but they always made sure that somebody felt welcome there. And as an e-board member and as president now, I try to make sure I continue that and make it keep going. Without BSU, I don't think that I would have half the friends and know half people I know now, including faculty and staff. They've also introduced me to like a lot of networking opportunities and helped me get like a clear head on exactly what direction I want to go in the future. But yeah.
I can definitely say that being part of NABA, like they're honestly one of the first clubs I was interested in. I just loved how it was a lot of Black excellence, like students in the business field were not a lot of colored people have had the same opportunities as others. I've seen them strive, network, like it was just a lot of opportunities that I saw, and it was just like a great experience to be a part of, that I wanted to be a part of from the beginning.
Personally, for the Latino Student Union, going to a predominantly white institution, I'm from the city, so you're kind of used to like culturally diverse communities and stuff. So when I went to Oswego my first semester, there was quite of a big culture shock. So being able to be part of the Latino Student Union my first semester, I've been able to, a lot of what we focus on is community service and just bringing some sort of unity with mutual likings. So the Latino Student Union was able to provide me with that. So yeah.
For ASO, especially when I joined my first semester last year, I remember just looking around at the club fair, just trying to get a feel like what orgs are out there. And what caught my eye was the amount of orgs, of the BIPOC orgs that I saw as we go from AAMN to ASL BSU. And I remember just attending like the first couple of meetings and just attending just to get a, just to feel a sense of community, like as the other panel so said. I always feel like, just going there, I feel like, these are people who, got, similar interests as me, similar, similar backgrounds. So just coming here, especially in the PWI, it's to me, it's comforting. And, and just from here on, just to share that with incoming students and new members for ASO as well.
Anyone else who didn't go yet?
Well, thank you all for sharing about how organizations on campus kind of shaped your development throughout college, and how y'all became more social, like Kayla said, or just felt a sense of community. Really glad that that's what's representative of, our Oswego experience. So going off of that, most of the organizations that we're part of, that we're all representing on this panel, have been on campus for a long time. So they've been benefiting or contributing to community for a long time. How do you think your roles, each of your individual roles in your individual organizations, has changed over the years? And not just your own individual, I'm sorry, Kayla, not just your individual role, like president or whatnot, but like, what do you think the role of your organization is in Oswego?
So for BSU personally, we were the first Alana org on campus, founded in 1967. So back then there was almost no POC. There was about like 50 students, if that, on campus. So back then I feel like their role was not a lot stronger, was a lot different than it is now, because they had to raise awareness in a different way, and they had to fight to even be seen as equals on campus at that time. So now I feel like our role is to just continue to raise awareness, continue to make changes in Oswego, but also make sure that we're that family support for students of color on campus. Not even just students of color, but students in general on campus who feel like they need a place to come talk to, a place to learn new things, and faculty as well.
So
Go ahead,
Image
Nsikak.
has,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fine. You can
so
go.
ASO is one of the younger. It's like I believe it's the youngest organization founded in 2004, and just even though it's been over, say about over 10 years now, but I feel like with everything happening and everything that times that are changing, I feel like our role now is just to continue that legacy that was started all the way back then and just continue it for years and years to come, and just build on top of what the foundation that was left by the first members of the organization.
So Image over the years has grown to like give back to campus over the many years through like community service and like raising donations for different programs like shop. And we also like networked with other schools to bring them to SUNY Oswego, like with our competition with these other SLIP teams, and to just bring awareness to different issues and topics.
I can go. I'm so sorry once again for the extra, but being that Black Community is a new org, so this will be our third year here. But I feel like during the time that we have been on campus, we have changed the way that we programs are looked at, because we educate on topics that are sort of taboo, such as like sex work or different subjects as that. I'm so sorry, guys. Question. But not only have we do that, but we do try to create a sense of sisterhood by doing the mentor program that we have every year. So.
On behalf of the Latino Student Union, what we've done is prior to, because we're also one of the oldest organizations on campus, so back then there wasn't much technology, if any. So over time, we've been trying to stay active, whether it being during breaks, winter breaks, summer breaks, to make sure that we're still educating our peers and our community members to make sure that we're as educated as we can be. So being active on our social medias is something that has changed over time for sure.
I would say, well, NABA has only been on campus since 2015. So I'm just glad that the business school has that voice from colored people, because it is predominantly white. Like literally all my business classes are, like I'm one of the 3 Black people there. So it's really, it's perfect that it came right before I attended, so that these recent e-boards, they've been having their own like goal each year, different, like everyone brings new ideas to the table since it is very new.
Thank you all for sharing that. I guess we could go on to our next question if everyone else feels comfortable with that. So I guess we can talk about programs, programs that orgs have. Does anyone want to quickly like talk about what a program is for those that like, for incoming students that don't know or wouldn't know?
Sure. So programs are, I would say, like they're educational, like not educational, but any topics or like related to the org or anything that's any topic that's come up by the organization, and those programs are used as a way to educate the students on various things happening, like current events or any problems or issues that are happening. And some could be activities, some can be in the form of presentations, or some can be in a like a red table group discussion.
Thank you. So then what, how are y'all gonna kind of like, with all that's going on with COVID and going back to campus and the possibility of us having to do virtual programming, how do you think that'll change the involvement of your organization, or how would y'all change the involvement of your organization with people on campus basically?
For BSU personally, well, actually for all orgs, it's going to be way harder this semester and this year because we don't even know exactly how everything's going to go due to CDC guidelines and all that's going on with COVID. But for BSU personally, we will be continuing to have our weekly programs on Wednesdays at 7. So I do encourage everybody, even if it's not BSU, but I encourage everybody to join organizations' weekly programs because they are very informative and some of them are actually really, really fun. On top of that, we will be using social media to the best of our ability because social media is a blessing in disguise. Sometimes it's like, we don't like it. But social media is a great way to get your word out. We will continuously be doing that to spread awareness and not only about like Black issues on campus, but also the importance of voting, how to register to vote, all those good things that you need to know in life.
I would say that now very going to be using social media as well, through Instagram, Zoom, possibly. We do have plans to have it, whether it's virtual or in person with a limited amount and social distancing as well. But I believe NABA will be going back to weekly programs Monday, 8 p.m. tentatively. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I feel like NABA will definitely be continuing the conversation because we are a Black org. So that is very important, as well as pushing for change on campus. That's always a given.
So image
I
isn't
feel
full. Oh, you go.
Oh, okay. So I feel like for ASO, we're most likely definitely gonna have our program still on Thursdays at 7. And most likely we're also gonna try and our hardest as well to add more on social media. I feel like Kayla said earlier, social media is like the best thing that we have right now. So if anything, we're gonna have to push harder than we did like in the past semesters when we had like in-person programs and stuff like that. I know ASO, we wanted to also expand our program.
Your audio cut off.
Audio cut off.
Given the fact that it's going to be online, so then we can have a broad work more with other schools as well. So, yeah.
So image isn't fully program based, but we do utilize like collaborating with other programs too that are on campus throughout Alana and throughout other orgs on campus too. And we do find importance in social media, like Kayla said, and we will be keep continuing to post different performances and different even like events that are like happening right now and in our countries.
Yes, we'll be using social media as our main outreach to just continue the conversation and still be an advocate for Black women. But if approval, we will still be having our programs at 5 on Fridays. So even if not, it'll still be posting on Instagram and our stories and other social medias.
LSU is also going to be still holding their programs every Monday at 7 p.m., whether it's virtual or in person. We're still waiting for our for CDC guidelines on how that will look like. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you all. So now that we have a semblance of some type of whether or not we'll be what it would look like, whether we're online or in person, what are some conversations or some programs that students or events even that students should be expecting in the fall, considering that there's a whole global pandemic and global uprisings against anti-Blackness and other forms of racism. What are y'all actively doing as organizations to spread awareness on those issues and other issues?
On behalf of all of us, we have Alana Week, which is at the end of September, I believe. And during that week, we will be sharing light on not just things that have to do with the Black community, but people in color in general, like Indigenous people. So that's something to definitely look forward to. But as far as BSU, in the beginning of every semester, not every semester, of every year, we usually do like big events. Well, big events to get people together. Like we usually have a pool party, a basketball tournament, but for obvious reasons this year we can't do that. So we're looking to replace our basketball tournament with the slam dunk contest because it still is a way to get people together, even if it's virtual, because that is something fun to watch. And we also have Black Solidarity Day, where we usually walk around campus with signs, chanting, and everything. But yeah, and the peace walk. Hopefully, it'll be in person. Yeah.
In the fall semester, the Latino Student Union is Latino Heritage Month for a whole month. So that's something that we're focusing on heavily just because we want to make sure that we're still educating our peers. Something that we've been working on because most likely it'll be virtual. We've been trying to expand our horizons. Like everybody's been saying, social media can be a blessing. So making sure that we can connect with alumni, connect with other schools, connect with other organizations, foundations, and stuff like that. So making sure that we're looking at the positive things that's going on and trying to make sure we take advantage of that is something that we're focusing on.
On behalf of NABA, every year we have a conference, a regional conference that we go to at the end of September. It's usually the week before Alana Week. This year it's actually the same week. Since it's virtual though, this year it actually works out. But yeah, it's an opportunity to network, internship opportunities, full-time job opportunities for seniors. They all you attend a lot of different programs within. They help better yourself, help you get ready for whatever's next, help you to better NABA at your branch as well. You also have opportunities to speak to corporate firms and all that. Like it's a great opportunity every year. And I'm glad that it's virtual this year as well, so that even though you cannot go physically, you still have access to everything. As well as our weekly programs. We'll definitely be utilizing social media to keep our students involved. We have a lot of programs that can be taught virtually as well, such as how to use LinkedIn, resume building, how to network, like all different types of stuff that you can utilize in real life.
So Image is currently working on a Nearpod presentation, which is like an outlet that different schools use also to educate their children. So we're going to be educating the community on the Black Lives Matter movement, and so people could gain knowledge on the many issues that like people of color face every day.
Right. Thank you all for sharing that. So with the uncertainty, with all that's going on, you know, whether or not, we don't know if these traditional events, these annual events are going to be happening in person or virtually for the most part. What are some ways that, what are some like pieces of advice, I guess, you can give to incoming students when it comes to involvement on campus, at least during these unprecedented time? Yeah.
I would say that social media is honestly your best bet. Like check your emails, because you get the daily emails from Oswego. They'll tell you what's going on around campus. I would just say that's your best bet. Follow, like try to get as much people on your social media to let you know about what's going on around campus or virtually on campus.
I definitely agree. I also want to say that even though things are like completely different, I think everybody should still try their hardest to stay involved on campus, even if it's not just within Alana orgs or orgs that represent people of color. There are orgs for literally everything. There's a club for everything. If you like skiing, there's a skiing club. I don't know what they're going to do differently this year, but I think you should still get involved because that's literally what can make your college career and your college life.
I would say don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, especially doing something new. Especially for me, like 4 years ago, starting college, I had no idea what I wanted to like be involved in, and then over over time it grew into something to the point where when I transferred to Oswego, it was easy to find, okay, these are the orgs I want to join. And yes, a lot of these orgs are different from what I was used to back home. It's not, what's the word? It doesn't hurt to try. So I would say don't be afraid to try anything new. And you're always gonna find, like, I found a bunch of new skills especially just from watching students and just from learning from these different orgs. So don't be afraid to do anything that you haven't done before.
I would say continue to still get involved. If you still feel discouraged or you feel like this is not a college experience, still educate yourself and reach out to members of the org or any activity that you want to do, and see how you can still be a part of that, and see how you still reach out to others and help with the
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I also agree as well. I think the best thing that you can do for like this semester coming in is that if you feel like you're uncomfortable or anything like that, is to like take your time, look at what the other orgs are doing right now, like during the times that we're in quarantine, and how much effort they're putting in to like getting information out, or like just making your time indoors seem more like relaxing and fun and stuff like that. And then use what you build up from like looking at all these other orgs, and then take it with you when like you're going back to spring semester, and hopefully by the grace of God we'll open up and we can meet in person and have like more interactions with each other and stuff like that. I feel like DMing the Instagram pages of all the orgs that you feel like you would be part of is a great way to start. I know a lot of orgs have like interns or like committee members and stuff like that. So I would say get involved in that way. You might not meet in person, but at least like getting a connection to the e-board and in that way would be really helpful, because I know that when I was a freshman, being an intern for ASO was what got me really connected towards the org as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. So like the number one thing is to get involved as much as you can. So getting involved in campus is like, it helps put your face out there. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. So it helps put your face out there and making sure that you can increase your networking, your different connections and different opportunities that are either professional or personal ones, and different orgs that is around all throughout campus can definitely help in every aspect.
I also want to add that. Sorry, I also want to add that we won't have an in-person involvement for this year, which is usually like the best way to get to know what orgs and clubs are for you and the different orgs on campus. But they will be having one virtual, and I know like a lot of orgs were asked to send in like videos about your club and everything. So I don't know how they're gonna work it out, but I do encourage you, and I do think that you should all join in on that, even if you're a returning student. It's very important to go to.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Additionally, I think it's really important to just check your emails. Like previously stated, like when they talk about involvement fairs, a lot of times there's big conferences that take place with multiple organizations, and just checking your email is very helpful in regards to programming and all. Not just Alana organizations or organizations of color, just in general, checking your email is really important to stay active.
Yeah, I definitely to just piggyback off what Abisola was saying about like reaching out to orgs, the people that are in orgs. A lot of the orgs have posted their e-board members. We had a e-board reveals. So we definitely like just check those out. I know LSU has Keeping Up with LSU, so they're posting periodically like what's up with current e-board members, what are they doing this summer. Just it's an easy way to reach out and just kind of see like have a feel of who's doing what. And it also is really a good opportunity to ask questions about like, okay, what's the DOP, or what is the role of the president, and what as simple as that. Even if you're incoming or returning, as Kayla said, it's important to just always check out resources, because it's a new year, new people, new faces, so everything's always ever changing. Yeah, so we can go on to the next question. How has involvement helped you expand your network? Because I know a lot of you guys were talking about, or y'all were talking about, skills, gaining new skills. You know, students, yeah, as student leaders, y'all were gaining new skills and having new experiences and meeting new people. How has your involvement in organizations expanded your network? And would you say your connection to the organization is going to be long lasting, like beyond graduation and whatnot?
I think that it's definitely being part of organizations has that you be part of conversations and have a seat at the table in certain conversations with faculty and staff members, because there's a lot of faculty and staff members that want to hear from students, and so they reach out to organization leaders and stuff like that. So it's definitely been able to give multiple of us the opportunity to do so. And it's also like just let you step out of your comfort zone and become part of those conversations that increase your knowledge and educate your peers about what you were able to know within those meetings. In regards to, I think alumni are really important when it comes to organizations because like Michelle was saying, like the sisterhood that both Black Beauties has, I think it's important to have that sisterhood, brotherhood within organizations with their alumni, because alumni, when they keep in contact, they can give us a lot of insight of what the after college experience is like.
I agree with everything she just said. For me personally, being involved has just helped me get out of my comfort zone a lot. Like I can talk to people very easily now. I used to be very shy and I don't talk to anybody and I don't do anything, but I'm very open to a lot more things. Alumni, they will reach out to you even if you're not like a president. They'll still try to reach out to your e-board because they do still have that family connection. So I do personally see myself being still connected with BSU after I graduate. There have been a lot of times with the alumni of not just BSU but of LSU, ASO, they have reached out and they have given us like advice on being student leaders and students in general, as well as career advice in the future and how to find which field is right for you.
I would say that being a part of NABA, it has helped me a lot with networking, especially. Like the same people you see walking around campus, you would see at the program. So it's like, you know, you kind of have some common things and you just start speaking to that person and then you just end up knowing everybody. And it just helps a lot, as well as being a part of the e-board. Like you have connections to all the Alana presidents. You get access to faculty members as well, such as Maggie. It's honestly like a good opportunity. And I would say NABA is also a national organization, so it'll definitely help me after I graduate. I know that some of you may know Baldwin, the freshman one, but he's definitely a good resource to use, and he has helped me a lot because he's a part of NABA on the national level. And it's just like things like that, like you just have connections and, you know, before you know it, you end up being just like them.
I feel like the biggest thing you can get out of being is networking opportunity. Besides the personal growth that you get, like Kayla said, like, you know, if you're shy, if you start joining an org or something, you step out your comfort zone and start talking to the community. The biggest thing you can get out of being part of this is networking skills. Talking to people, communicating, whether it be face to face or if you're secretary online, through emails, any of that. You just better communicate.
I agree. Image is like a family also. So we utilize our connections with our past like alumni, and even that Image helped me get to know everybody who was like upperclassmen. So that also like made me talk to them and like engage with them, and then they helped me with like even things I could take to the future. And it's just only like up from there. Like it's really beneficial to like get out of your comfort zone. Like Image really made me find my voice in like everything that I do, and not to second guess myself like as I did when I was like younger.
I definitely agree with what everyone's saying. It's because especially with ASO, there's just through not even just through ASO, but any like orgs I've like attended, just by meeting, making connection with a bunch of like different students from different majors, especially alumni. I know like a month ago, I went to a protest out in Nassau County, and I ran into like three almost alumni who were former e-board members of ASO and BSU. and from there on, it was just, it was like a conversation starting, just to, giving me advice like, oh, how to, navigate college, like I navigate the world after college, and also being a student leader, especially during times of like, the pandemic and with everything going on in the news regarding Black Lives Matter. So definitely the alumni part and just the networking has definitely been a huge part, just being involved as a student leader.
And how do y'all plan to use these skills, these networks that you've attained or engaged with in your career, in your future careers, and in your personal life? How do you plan to kind of take what you've learned onward?
Being on the e-board, you learn a lot of skills, not just about yourself in general, but professional skills. So like how to professionally write an email, how to professionally connect and reach out to people. So different things like that. Like I've used some of the skills I've learned being on the e-board in general, not even just being president, to reach out to like college recruiters and people who do hiring for certain jobs. And it really has helped me build my LinkedIn page, which is very important. On top of that, it also has helped me find out like which type of people I should contact if I need help or advice on something that has to do with either me personally or my future, how I want to go about applying to certain jobs and things like that.
I would say NABA taught me a lot of personal skills as well. Stuff that I can use and do use today, even before I became part of the e-board, like just the general programs. They've helped me become a better business student, especially, as well as future career-wise. They have a lot of connections. They also, like the conference I was mentioning earlier, that's another opportunity to, because I'm a senior now, so it'll be an opportunity for all the business seniors to network and speak to firms in order to get a job in the upcoming year.
Yeah, being that both Black Beauties is centered around the academic success of Black women, I feel like being a future educator has helped me. Because at first I was like, okay, well, I'm really like to myself and not like outgoing. So how am I supposed to teach kids if I can't talk to them? So being a part of them just helped me reach out to people like faculty, whether it be about like how I want to go about applying for this internship or how do I know more information about where I do my residency, like things like that, as well as TOC. So if any education majors are watching this or looking at this, you can join TOC. Look into that. So yeah, I feel like those tools really helped me well. And being that we have alumni in the education field, it just helps me more so I can get more advice and more places like where do I go to teach there? Like, it just helps you connect with others.
Additionally, I feel like we can all kind of say that we've grown personally. It kind of makes you step out of your comfort zone regardless. And I feel like it's important to reflect on that. And that's why I think we all encourage everybody who's watching this to just be part of any organization, just because you grow as a person and you can grow in different ways, but it's very beneficial to reflect back and see how much you've changed from the start to the end.
So my org definitely helped me to find my full potential, and like I said before, like using my voice and how beneficial it is to speak up. And I used to be attached at the hip to this other to another member, but now Image definitely helped me get my leadership skills up, and also just to help me utilize how to even help other people too.
I guess this is kind of like a reflective question of yourselves outside of like just being an e-board member and stuff like that. But student leaders and activists, or just students in general, it's very important to take care of yourselves, hydrate, all those things. What are some things that y'all do? How do y'all rest and heal?
I feel like
take care of your personal health and all that, in the midst of doing all of these great things, basically.
I feel like being involved on campus, it's a lot, as well as like balancing academic life. So you have to just find balance for yourself. And as well, you can't be active if you're not taking care of yourself. You can't take care of no business if you're not taking care of yourself. You can't pass your classes if you're not getting enough sleep. You have to keep up with yourself, and self-care is a major key into your college experience. And I feel like people neglect that a lot, which leads to their downfall. So if you just go for yourself, and then everything else will fall in place.
I definitely agree. Just by doing things, for me, is doing things that I like to do, especially if I'm very stressful. I try to do things like that, especially during school. I know what I usually do. I started doing this in the around like the second month at Oswego. I started just just meditating and just keeping my just expressing my thoughts and just meditate. I love I want to shoreline of Lake Ontario, and just as well as keeping myself like physically fit and everything. For me, that helps me cope with everything that's going on. And one thing that like a friend told me is like you should always do things that you want to do things because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. And I think that's like the big thing, because if you're doing something that you feel like you have to do it, then you might have to reflect on yourself and say, okay, is this helping me? Or maybe I should go to something that I like to do and knowing that I want to do it, not because I have to do it.
I definitely agree. Sorry. I agree with everything everybody just said. But as far as for me, I believe that you have to find like the right circle of friends, because like when I'm with my friends, it's like a stress, like all my stress just goes away. So I do think that a lot of times your friends do help you stay level-headed, and a lot of times it is hard to find that right group, but you're gonna know if that group is not for you. So it's up to you to find out who's there for you and who's not. Also find some recreational things that you can do. Like sometimes I paint, even if it don't come out good. Sometimes I paint, and it helps me calm down and keep my mind straight.
One skill that I make sure I prioritize is the skill of organization. So like keeping a planner or keeping your calendar up so you can see it, and making sure you fill it out and fill it out with every event that's coming up, and every task and every homework is definitely important. And to making sure that you have everything and you see things that you need to check off, and checking off everything makes it 100% better, and it definitely keeps your mental health at ease too.
I think. Sorry.
You could go.
I definitely agree with you, Amaya and Kayla. Like having a planner keeps me very organized, and it definitely does feel good when everything is completed, as well as sleep. Sleep is very important. I'm not a nap person, but my friends, they could nap. They can definitely sleep, and it seems to benefit them, as well as friends that definitely are just like you in a sense, but different in ways. Like you might not find that friendship right away, but once you do, you will know, and it's just gonna be great after that.
Adding on, just like making sure you check in with yourself and like check yourself when you're not doing so well, and also having that type of friends like everyone's been saying. Additionally, I feel like it's good to take advantage of the resources around you. So like Lake Ontario is amazing with the sunsets, the waves. So a lot of people, for myself, I feel like just taking a walk along the shoreline is very calming and stuff like that. We also have just resources if you need to speak to a counselor and stuff like that, or just going to the gym. I don't know how that'll look like this time, but just doing stuff that you're interested in. And also just asking for help. I feel like a lot of us struggle to ask for help, but we have to feel comfortable asking for help, especially if you're part of an e-board and stuff, asking for help and not putting so much burden on your shoulders. Because everyone's been saying, it's a family, it's a team. So yeah.
I think another thing I would add is that for me personally, a clean space is very helpful in wanting to do work and wanting to keep peace with yourself. So I would say even if you feel especially if we're gonna be online for some people for all of their classes, and for others hybrid, but just keeping your space clean and making sure that it's homey and stuff like that. I think that's something that really helps with mental state and stuff like that, because then you can try and relax as much as possible when you're in that space, compared to like if it was messy, then you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm disorganized right now, so I have to clean up. But then again, you're like thinking so much about how unorganized you feel like you are, that you're straying away from the actual work that you have to do. Yeah.
Right. So I'm gonna open up the floor to any questions from anyone else. We do have one question already that was submitted from an attendee. We have a few actually. So thank you. Wait, is that doing something? My fault.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, if anyone wants to submit a question, you can just do it through the private chat, and then I can read them, or Brandon can read the other questions that we have.
Yeah, thank you. Or even if any of the panelists have questions of their own that they would like to ask other panelists, that's also fine. So I guess we'll start off with one question, the first question. Do you think it is important for clubs or orgs to incite activism to their members through programming? Now, there's nuance to the word incite. So I guess like, is it meaningful to kind of talk about important issues that are happening and kind of engage or be activists on campus? That would be the question.
I personally do think that that is something that's important, because a lot of times people don't know all the facts, or they're confused about what's going on or how they can help. But as an org, I don't think that that's the only thing that you should be doing and that you have to do, because a lot of times you don't always want to hear things about being an activist. Sometimes you just want to have, like, relax and hang out with people. So it's also very important to have programs and events that are also fun and that get people together, just as much as it is to be an activist, promote activism through your org and on campus.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially as a director of programming, I don't want to constantly make educational slides. I feel like there should be a middle ground where like people are allowed to have fun and people are allowed to like do minor little events or anything like that. So I definitely agree with you, Kayla. Does anyone else want to answer? Right. So how can other clubs and organizations, I'm assuming like non-Black POC clubs and organizations, promote, improve, and continuously support diversity and inclusion in their spaces, I guess?
I say like just bringing them or matter of fact, giving them the opportunity to just to collab. I know there's a couple of organizations that have collabed with other non-BIPOC orgs for like different things. I know last year ASO collabed with one of the sororities, like doing, making peanut butter and jelly for the homeless. So that's like, things like that, just to,
Okay, good.
and also just bring them into the conversation and just getting them more involved.
I agree, and I also think it's about promotion, not just the org promoting, but if you're joining an org, you can also encourage your friends to come with you, even if they have nothing to do with the org. I think that is very important, because sometimes you need to hear the other person's opinion for you to really understand, like, oh, maybe this is why other people think this way. Or it's important for people to see how other people, are together, and how other people have fun, because sometimes you make new friends like that. So I think that you should encourage people to come with you, or to join an org, or at least attend one meeting or go to one event.
Awesome. Does anyone else want to answer that question before we move on to the next one?
I think it's also important, like encouraging and like promoting like the safe space, because I know sometimes people feel like they're going to just be attacked when they attend meetings. So because it can be a controversial or a taboo topic, so definitely encouraging and promoting the safe space that's within organizations and programs that we do have, just because like Kayla was saying, it's important to have on both sides, so we can come to a mutual understanding and educate each other.
Awesome. So we do have a question from someone who's live in the webinar with us. And this is from, actually, this is from our Student Association VP who is watching this right now, and he has joined us. And so he's asking, you know, on his behalf and also on behalf of the Student Association, he's saying, in what ways are you guys looking for the Student Association to support you all on this upcoming semester?
I would say as of right now, Alana is the only event, you know, happening. So I would say that's very important. And it's one of the first, so that's definitely something we could just focus on right now.
Also, I want to say that, so for like the last 2, maybe 3 years, BSU and SA have worked together on the Peace Walk. So I would say that I would like to continue, not only for BSU, but for all orgs, not even just one orgs, for SA to have like a collaboration or like that bonding effect with orgs, because it did actually help like BSU a lot with the Peace Walk. A lot of people like actually found out like what it really meant. Instead of just us walking from City Hall to campus, they realized that it was to build the gap, the bridge between not just minority students on campus with the rest of the campus community, but also with the Oswego town, so that they would feel more comfortable and less complaining and everything. But I do think that I would like to see SA collab with organizations, even if it's just on like a program or helping them promote certain events and programs that they may have.
Awesome. Any final pieces of wisdom that you guys want to give to anyone who's here right now, or anyone who is, you know, later on going to watch this video? I think you really provided great insight on what it means to be, you know, not just a student in our campus, but also a student leader and an activist, and all the things that you organize and you plan within your organizations, and then how much you guys have learned and grown throughout the time that you've been involved in those organizations. So it's really great to, personally for me, and I hope for everyone else who, you know, is going to watch this, that they learn not just about what your organization stands for, what your organization does on campus, but you know, take that step further and be involved with your organization and attend your programs and support your events, and, you know, collaborate with you. I think in the times that we are in right now, even though we have the limitations because of, you know, we are in a global pandemic, we should try to focus on the positive things. Like you guys mentioned, you know, we're going to be using social media so much this year. And so there are options that we can implement within our orgs to increase collaboration, to increase outreach to other people. And I'm personally excited to see what you guys are going to do. And I hope that, you know, incoming students and returning students who are looking to get involved, consider joining your orgs as well. So with all of this said, yes, Nsikak?
I just one final, sorry, I just have one final thing to say. Just for any students that are watching, just keep in mind of like legacy, and just think about it. You don't have to think about it like from like when you join, or just think about it while you're doing your Oswego journey, because that's like the biggest thing. Like, think about what you're going to leave behind for others to see, and just think about what you want the future students after you know, to do, and also what changes you want them to, you know, make, because that's the biggest thing. Because if you don't have like, if people don't think about like legacy and what they're going to leave behind, then you know a lot of people tend to like just repeat for things from the past, because you want people to move forward from the future. So just think about what you're doing, what you're going to do moving forward, and just think about how's it going to affect the next people after you.
Yeah, I definitely, to piggyback off of Nsikak if I can, definitely you don't have to be any type of age to start that. You can start that the minute you get onto campus. You know, like I'm going to be a sophomore in the fall, and you know, DOP for BSU, and it's really not that hard to be involved or be invested in community or in orgs and all of that. And it doesn't even have to be an org. If you want to make your own org, then go ahead and do that. Or make your own spaces. That's cool too. You know, we still need, if y'all want to make a cooking club or whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be like activism related or organizing related or educational. It could just be fun. I feel like, we should all be taking this trajectory, this new layer, this new phase in our lives to heal and to really unpack all the things that we've had to endure and internalize, and really use this moment to grow from that and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you guys just said. So we're gonna leave this as the last message that we want to give. So I just want to say thank you everyone who participated in the panel. This was a really great conversation, and we really hope, I hope that I can speak on behalf of all of the orgs that were represented today, and just every org that we have on campus, that students who are watching this, or anyone really who's watching this, learn more about the orgs that we just talked about, and again, take the initiative to get involved, even though times now are hard, but we can get through this together, and you can find a support system when you join an organization or with a group of friends. I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you everyone, and thank you everyone who's watching, everyone who joined, and everyone who participated in the panel. And thank you, Brandon, for being the co-host. It was a really great conversation. So with that, I'm going to end this webinar.
Bye.